And a very big aloha. Cindy Paulos here with Talk Story, the longest running talk show. 34 years, the longest running talk show in Maui.
Epic.
And over the years, my friend, Jon Woodhouse has been always one person I so look forward to talking with.
Thank you, Cindy.
Fascinating author. We were just talking about his new book, actually, that's coming out next. I just can't wait to read that. But besides, obviously, being a great writer and working and doing stories for the Maui News, I invited him in today, and I think I will go Facebook Live because this is a fascinating subject. He decided to build a home. Now, the house in crisis is beyond belief.
Yep.
The house in crisis is out of control.
Yep.
And having just gone through a nightmare of a move myself, I realized I really made a big mistake in my life by not owning a home.
On Maui, you mean? Yes.
On Maui, yes. Well, I've owned 4 homes, but I never kept them. So when I heard Jon, actually Tom Vendetti told me that he saw your house. Right. You have a little picture on it.
Yeah, he came up with Keola Bima to check it out.
And tell me what is so unique about this house you built.
Well, it is so unique because it's the second hemp house on Maui. So what I mean by that is the walls are made from hempcrete, which is hempcrete is made by getting hemp, little bits of hemp, and you mix it with lime and water and minerals, volcanic minerals, and you create the substance that you build walls from. And the beauty of it is that it's fire resistant and it's termite resistant and mold resistant.
How did you hear about this?
Well, Joe's the guy. Joe built it, and Joe knows about that kind of stuff.
I'm here.
And so Joe, I was going to, I'm part of I guess you could call it a hui. We're on 4 acres, and I have a little less than half an acre, and so I wanted to build a place. And this was before the pandemic hit, actually, when prices, of course, were a little cheaper. And so I jumped on board to build something, and then Joe says to me, "Hey, let's build a hemp house." And I went, "Whoa!" But then, of course, I started reading about the advantages of hemp, and it's mind blowing. It's the kind of thing where if you know about it, why would you not want to build a hemp house if you were building a new house? It's just a complete no-brainer.
Now,
there's so many qualities to it.
Hemp, of course, goes back thousands and thousands of years.
The Romans even used it.
But I didn't ever hear about a house made out of hemp. I've heard of a lot of good things, clothes and things, yada, yada.
Yeah, well, that's because America is a bit behind the wheel on this. If you were in Europe, you'd realize that there's tons of hemp buildings. In fact, in South Africa, they've just built a 12-story hemp hotel.
Oh, my God, amazing.
So
is it done in planks? How do you...
No, it's... Joe can explain the technical thing, but you create these forms and then you start packing the hemp in between the studs and then you gradually build the walls up. And they're about 8.5 inches thick, the walls.
So it is, you basically do a plan with the structure.
Yeah, you pour
it in. You pour it.
You basically put, and then you pound it in there. So I had a lot of friends helping out. At one point, we had like 10 people working on it. And because it's a slow process, because you've got to do it piece by piece. But and it's sort of interesting because a friend came up once you have the hemp in place, then you plaster it, and then you paint it with plaster is lime and sand. And then you paint it with this lime wash, which is like a paint, but it's actually lime. So everything is non-toxic, Cindy. This is what's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I think, let me just interrupt here. If people did not know how toxic most homes are, all you have to do is look at what happened after the fires in Kula and in Lahaina to see how many toxins were left when these homes burnt down. Yeah,
and in fact, I had we got this guy from Bulgaria, Boyan, and he'd grown up in a culture where everyone had plastered their homes, right? And he turned to me one day. He said, "I want to thank you. I've been in the construction industry for a long time, and this is the first time I've worked in a non-toxic home."
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Can you hold up your?
Oh yeah.
For those of you on Facebook, you'll be able to see this. For those of you that are not on Facebook, you'll have to take a description. It's a lovely house. How big is it?
It's 1,200 square feet.
1,200. It is set off the ground a bit,
Because the ground's not level, right? So
right.
it hits the ground on the back, and then it's about 10 feet up in the air in the front.
So tell me about the foundation for this house. How do you build a foundation?
Well, it's just like
Would you
regular
sell-
construction.
Yeah, but I mean, normal construction would maybe be concrete.
Well,
And it would be,
this is called post and pier.
uh-huh.
This is a post and pier house. More often than not, you'll probably see a hemp house built on a slab.
This is what hemp looks like before it's plastered. Can you see that?
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm seeing. It's like
Okay,
how,
let-
how
You're
large
looking
is
at a
it?
wall with the light on it.
Look at that.
Show her the light.
I'm not seeing the whole light. I'm seeing more.
Well,
than
no,
that.
that's a sconce, right? That's a sconce light.
That's an interior
But
wall.
that's an interior wall. But basically, you're looking at a hemp wall before it's been plastered.
So how do you secure all these pieces
And
together?
this is a bunch of people that helped build it.
God, it's pretty amazing, actually.
I think you better let me explain it.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
go
John.
ahead.
And
Go
in
ahead.
fact, and first I'll say when we initially put in the permit for the house, we weren't building a house with hemp.
Right.
It was midstream. I went to John and says, why don't we build a hemp house? He was a little reluctant, and so the framing is very much the same as framing any regular house. There is some extra bracing that has to take place because normally you would have plywood on the outside of the house, and that would give you shear strengths. And so we just needed some diagonal bracing. Then we just take pieces of plywood, and we cut them in half or cut them in thirds. You have 16 inches, and you bolt it to the studs 2.5 inches away from the stud on either side. So when you're done, you have a 8.5-inch wall, and the framing is encased inside the hemp. And after you fill up that 16-inch form, it's screwed with these lag bolts and held exactly away. So when the distance away, you just slide that form up, and you do it again. You fill it again, and you slide it up, and you fill it again, and you continue to fill it. When you get to the top, you have this straight wall. When you do all the walls all the way around the building, you have one solid monolithic structure.
What do you make the framing? How is the framing done? Is it
Same
steel?
framing as you would have in a house, 2x4s.
But would that be steel, aluminum, wood?
No, wood.
No,
Wood.
wood
Yeah.
2x4s.
yeah.
Wood 2x4s.
And one of the interesting things about it is that over time it actually petrifies the wood, the hemp.
Really?
So the wood becomes stronger inside.
Wow.
There are so many advantages to this, and it's the thing that got me is the feeling inside. When you walk in, Cindy, you feel a stillness. It's unlike a normal home. You can actually
Why would you sense that? Why
because it's the hemp. It's I had a Spectrum guy. Thank you, Spectrum. Guy come in this morning. I said I'll give him some props, and I said, "Can you feel the stillness?" And he says, "Yeah, you just feel still." It's like someone who built a house. I'm going to write an article about this for the Mail News, by the way. And someone in, I think it was Virginia or North Carolina, she said it's like walking into a church or a chapel. It's just a vibe that you can't really describe, but there's something about it. Another friend came in and said it's like being in a forest. This was before we plastered it. So it's palpably different from a regular house, Plus, it's non-toxic as well.
So
Well, that's the big thing, that it's non-toxic.
absolutely, that's
I mean,
huge.
It's an organic, it's a 100% organic wall because the hemp is nothing but chopped up pieces of the hemp plant. Lime comes from coral, and even the finish is just sand and lime, and the other is the paint. And we actually put burlap in between layers of the plaster because to stop it from cracking. So you have homes, all the homes in Europe, 200 years ago. So they would build out of lime, and then after 10 or 15 or 20 years, they would just do another lime plaster and maybe another lime wash, which is, we call it lime paint, but it's simply lime and water, and you mix it up.
Now, inside, is
Yeah.
it painted inside?
Yeah,
Obviously, you paint the outside. Inside, you paint it.
Same
just with
thing.
any-
It's the lime wash. So it's all non-toxic. And then I found a company on the mainland that makes these natural pigment colors. So they're not, it's not like any toxic paint or anything. And so I've got
So
one.
you've got pigment colors.
Yeah, I've got one wall that's a very light green. I've got in the kitchen. I've got a wall in the bedroom that's light blue, and a wall in the bathroom that's light lavender.
Oh, I should have brought my phone in. I have pictures of them. It's beautiful. He did these highlight walls. So just one wall is color and the rest are white. And they're white just because the lime is very white. And it looks like a whitewash, but
Does it absorb it differently? Being hemp, does it absorb that color and into the hemp? You think, or is it?
it's interesting when it dries. It's like 10 times lighter than when you put it up.
We've
See,
got
there's the-
David Fisher watching.
There's the-
Margie Knowles, Rhonda Priya, Dana. Hi guys.
That's the light lavender wall in the bathroom.
I'm having a hard time getting it to focus on that, but I kind of see it. It's just kind of a blur on my phone. It's not getting a focus. Oh, I see it kind of when I go back as he's here.
Right.
Yeah, I love that.
Isn't it nice?
I love that. And I would imagine this is pretty. How about fires and stuff like that? Because everyone obviously is thinking about fires and
it's
stuff.
fire resistant.
Yes.
That's
It's fire resistant?
That's the other beauty of it.
How? How is it fire resistant?
You know, we did a workshop. We've run a couple workshops teaching people how to build with hemp. And I have video of, I took a torch and held it to it
Not.
for 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
Now I see there's tests that are being done. There's one official test that tests it. It gets a 2-hour rating. It won't burn up until 850 degrees or something for a 2-hour rating. Now to get
Wow.
the other thing about it is the way it transmits heat and humidity.
Good point.
It's like inertia. It takes in the heat and humidity, stores it in the 8.5 inch wall, and then disperses it evenly. It's a very interesting thing.
Wow. It does, huh?
Yeah. It
Okay.
also pulls CO2 out of the air.
Because
Whoa.
it's permeable. The walls you can't. That's why you can't paint them with regular paint because it's permeable. So yeah.
So your walls are breathing.
Yes, we're actually saving the planet.
You have it exactly. The walls are breathing, and this goes against a lot of construction. If you
got to
ever
seal everything,
If you
right?
ever see when they build a house, they frame it out and then they put this plastic wrap that goes all the way around the house because they don't want one bit of moisture or anything to get in and out of there. This is more like an alive house. It's very
Wow.
the health environments. It's the same thing.
This is the kitchen. See the green on the walls?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. When did you actually get? How long did it take to build this?
About a year.
About a year.
Yeah, we had a slow down for a little while, but
Because of getting what you needed.
Because of running out of money.
Well, is it hard to get the hemp you need to do this?
Joe got it from the mainland.
bought it in Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh, but listen, if I could say.
Go on, say it.
So we started a company called Hemp Home Hawaii. We're going to continue. I'm a general contractor, and have been for I don't know how long, 20 years here. And we just got word today that there is a company that is going to buy and build a facility to process hemp
On Maui.
on Maui.
Wow.
It turns out.
This is a huge deal.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people behind the scenes that have been working on this already, trying to get us to grow hemp. It's just such a great crop
Is that
to
part
grow.
of? Is any part of the Woody Harrelson group? No.
No,
No, I think he
Because he
smoked it.
was.
He smoked it all.
He smoked.
we tried to get John to talk to Woody to have him come by to see the house.
Yeah. No, I think. Well, the thing is, right now.
Woody, if you're listening to this,
Yes.
Come on, Mike.
come on by. Call Jon Woodhouse.
Yeah.
How much did it cost to do this house?
$350.
Yeah, a little more than
Is
350.
that all? Really? 350.
Yeah, we were figuring $300 a square foot.
Uh huh.
So it's a little more expensive, and this is why it's really important that somebody might start a processing facility, because there are people who said they would grow it here, but they don't know who would buy it. And if we didn't, it cost more to ship the hemp here than it did
Of
to
course.
pay for the hemp.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, if they grew it here, it would bring the price to be comparable to any home.
Yeah, you can grow a 2-bedroom house on 2.5 acres.
So
Enough hemp for a and you've got at least two hemp crops a year in Hawaii, right? At least 2.
We're hoping for
Probably
3.
3.
yeah.
So
Okay. How much insurance? What did the insurance company kind of raise their eyebrows when
No.
you said
no,
insurance,
it was
insuring
just
the house was
regular.
all good?
Yeah.
It's regular
In
insurance,
fact,
yeah.
the insurance should be cheaper.
It should be.
Yeah.
If it's fire resistant, absolutely it should be.
Can I show you Lama Gelson blessing my house?
Ah, Lama. We love Lama Gelson. Oh, hold that to the microphone so people can hear. Yeah, there you go. I love llama. Llama gals.
It came up and blessed the house.
That's a good one.
Beautiful.
It spent an hour. It's
So
amazing.
Not only-
after a year,
I'm sorry for
Yeah, go
interrupting.
ahead.
Not only is it fire resistant, it's mold proof.
oh, that's huge.
Huge for haiku.
Yeah, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
termite resistant,
Wow.
bug resistant,
Wow.
and it blocks electromagnetic frequencies.
How?
I
We've seen it. I'm not sure about that one. We because it hasn't
Well,
blocked them in my house. But anyway, we've seen a video where I saw a guy. You have an EMF meter, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was in Australia. And the guy measures the reading outside, and it's going bang, 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 bang. He walks in the house, and it goes down to zero into a hemp house. So
Wow.
but it's not.
But
It's not affecting your
No.
your reception at all.
no. The other thing is it regulates temperature. So when it's really hot out, it's cool inside, and it also has acoustic properties. So it suppresses sound too. So it's quieter inside as well.
Weed whackers are making John go crazy. So when the weed whackers are out there, he calls them screaming birds.
Angry birds.
Angry
They
birds.
are angry birds. I agree. So when did you move in, John?
Actually, this is I think my fourth day.
Oh my God, you
I've
just moved in.
Yeah, I just moved in.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was supposed to be out of my
Oh,
old house.
congratulations.
I moved in on the 25th, was it? I think the 25th.
Well, I know that feeling. I moved into my house,
Yeah.
which is not a hemp house. And I wished I'd. No, I think this is a brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant idea.
It's just a no-brainer. And I said I'm writing an article about it. I got Gary Johnson, the council member, came up to see the house, and he gave me a quote about how hemp would be really wonderful to be seen on Maui growing. And there seem to me, I don't know why there's not more people jumping on it, because
Well,
it's
wait a second. Now, Joe won't know. How many people know how to build a hemp house, Joe?
How long? What?
How many people know how to build a hemp house? That
Oh.
could be why more people aren't on it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. We actually had a guy. We had a guy from Ukraine showed us how to do it. Sergey. Seriously, he came from Ukraine. Yeah, he's building hemp structures in Ukraine for PTSD sufferers, for kids, and for soldiers.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. So we had we had Sergey from Ukraine doing the hemp, and we had Boyan from Bulgaria doing the plaster. Amazing, huh?
Well, I think this is so impressive. And I think that there are probably going to have to be more people teaching others how to do this.
Well, so that's what we did. We built, we did a workshop. We built these little 120 square foot structures in a hexagon shaped building. And we ran a workshop, and then we did a second time, ran a workshop just to teach people how it works. So there are people out there that could do it. That was the purpose of it. In fact, a few of those guys, they came aboard. And
That's the inside of the.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
what
that
Joe
color.
built. That
That's beautiful.
yeah, that's not his house. That's the
No, that's the
little hemp hale we call
hemp
it.
hole. That's the
Hexagon
200
shape.
square feet, right?
Wow,
No,
nice.
120.
Oh,
See,
120.
because
Really?
you don't have to have a permit, so we call it a storage.
I see.
You know how it
Yeah,
works.
I do know how it works, right?
Nudge, nudge.
And
right,
I just want to mention, we're not a hui, we're a CPR property.
So,
Okay.
so speaking of that, how about plumbing? How about electricity? How about all of that stuff?
You know, I have a picture of it. It has, electricity is in the walls just like normal electricity, but we put it in a conduit. They call it Smurf pipe. The water, we don't want to put copper in the wall, so we run the water up through the
Why
floor.
wouldn't you want to have copper?
Because lime will eat away at the
Oh,
copper.
good point. Good point. Yep.
Well, that's why the wood petrifies, because the lime is sucking the water out of the 2x4s. So in 30 years, if you went to cut that thing, it would be like cutting a piece of steel.
Wow.
So it gets stronger. In fact, they say that part of the brick wall of China was built with hempcrete. There's
wonder.
buildings in Europe that are 1,000 years old.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of, in England in particular, they do a lot of repair they have all these old lime buildings, but they can't use modern day cement. It doesn't work. It cracks and falls off. So there's a lot of repair being done to buildings all over Europe.
What country is the most advanced with these hemp houses?
France.
What?
Yeah, French.
In
I
fact,
would never have guessed that.
yeah, our
wouldn't
business
have guessed that.
partner and the company we started, Hemp Home Hawaii, and I was just meeting with this morning because we were going over our website. He's from France and has a deep connection to it too.
And the
They're-
Olympics.
Now the
I'm
Olympics.
sorry,
This,
we were
thi-
just talking about swimming in the Seine.
This
I'm
is
sorry.
a row of 42 terraced houses in England that has just been built with hempcrete. 42 in a row.
Wow. I think this is really truly a game changer.
It is totally a game changer. It's a paradigm shift. It really is. There's an old way of doing things. It's a new way. And it talk about green eco stuff. This is it. And it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I do. Who would this threaten? I mean, I always now these days I always look at.
Are we allowed to say that on the air?
Yes,
here?
I know, because I'll tell you something. I know people who are trying to do a lot of solutions to the problems with housing, and sometimes some groups get threatened if you come up with too easy a plan.
Who would you
So
say,
who
Joe?
would you say is to be most threatened by this kind of thing?
Well,
The unions?
Yeah, the unions.
The unions.
Gabe Johnson came up and who was all for it. Even gave a really good quote for the article, and that's the first thing they said. They said the carpenters union and the construction unions, and I said that we need carpenters.
Yeah.
In fact, the next house I built, I'm going to hire union carpenters. So that
It costs more.
They cost more, but it would just be to show them that carpenters we're not eliminating the carpenters' jobs.
Yeah.
Or any construction job. It's same with masons. You know, there's another way to do this. There's people who make hempcrete blocks now, and you can build it the way you would build a CMU house. You know, what CMU is this cinder blocks, right? Stack one on top of the other, and it's often your foundation. And they have blocks that they make. So if it takes off, which it looks like it's going to based on today's news,
Yeah.
they're going to, if they grow it here and then they have a processing facility, I think that we're going to see it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it will take.
I mean, Mahipona could be starting to grow hemp. Who knows, right?
I think that's been brought up before.
It has.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know what stopped it before.
Yeah.
I don't even.
I don't. I
don't-
can't
I
answer
don't-
that.
no.
I'll take the fifth.